I know there are some fees included with that. One of them, again, being just general storage, but also long term storage. Um, Eric, can you talk a little bit about like where maybe you see that? And well, I know our partners don't have that, but and maybe where you saw that in past, where like these long term storage fees, like what are they? How do they affect a seller? How do you avoid them? Really, really could both talk about it, but I figured Eric would have some like partner thing to mention.
Yeah, like with long term storage fees, they start kicking in. Forgive me, I believe it's after, is it 90 days, Brian, or is it 180?
180.
180.
No,
Okay, thank you. So your long-term storage fees kick in at about 180 days. But before that, like, so it's trying to make sure that you're not kind of using Amazon as just your storage facility. So it's no different than kind of keeping your stuff at a 3PL. So you can do this. I advise you not to do this because it can be very expensive. It can also impact your why am I blanking on this? Your
Your inventory.
inventory IPI. Thank you. Holy smokes, inventory performance index. So your IPI is a score. So if you have too much inventory, that starts to come down. That can impact your cubic feet and your ability to send your products in. So what does that look like for you? So let's say you have like 5 products, one sells really well, 80/20 rule or whatever, right? So like one product is selling really well, it's like keeping your lights on. But then you're tired of kind of keeping these, in the bottom, the long tail sales or the bottom products, close to dog products. They're just not moving fast enough, but you're tired of them in your warehouse. You got a new container coming in. You got to get these out. So you send them into Amazon. They don't move for, let's say, 180 days, maybe 360 days, whatever the disaster you can think of in your mind. That will then impact your IPI. That will then reduce your cubic feet, and now your top seller can't be sent in because
Mm.
you don't have the inventory room, right? So they said like, hey, you have 500 cubic feet. Now you're down to 100 cubic feet because of these products that aren't moving. Now you're faced with a decision. You have long-term storage fees on these products that aren't being sold. You will need to do a removal order, which is extremely costly. So that product, now you have a cost of, you sent that in, so you're paying your employees to pick, pack, ship, plus the shipping cost, plus the long-term storage fees. Now we have to do a removal order and have that product sent back to you. Now your warehouse might not have that space. You got to bring in 500 cubic feet of product that was at Amazon, and now you're sending in your other product. So now you might not have be between that removal order, because that removal order is going to be coming across multiple fulfillment channels across the United States, right? It's not just going to be at one fulfillment center. They just go and they grab your stuff, they send it. You're going to get all your products back, onesies and twosies from different fulfillment centers across the United States. And then once you get that back, anyway, you get the idea. It can be a real pain, and it can be very costly, and it can impact your account quite a bit.
I would say I'm horrified of those long term storage fees because everything you mentioned like that, even the way you said it was like almost like you had a flashlight under your face and like you're telling a scary story.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm a business owner, I'm avoiding those at any particular cost. I think, and I think Eric, you'd agree with your brands. I know for my brands in the past that I've managed, I actually would rather sell the products in there that are maybe not selling as well at almost half the cost at like a strike through price than in try and even deal with those long term storage fees. Like I wanna move the product before I can even have to like think about like, okay, like I gotta take this back, especially if it's like a food product that's expiring. I want to get that out of that storage warehouse and I want it to be in someone's belly more than I want it to be back at any the my partner's
Yeah.
distribution warehouse. So like absolutely, food is a different category obviously 'cause that expires, but you're giving me like a scale thing here. Like, do you think it's sometimes worth it to incur those long term storage fees rather than
Um,
just like mark the product down?
it can get complicated because if you sell at a discount, let's say you do 50% off, maybe your margin isn't there. And
Mm,
maybe you're at 50% off. Let's say it costs you $5 to go 50% off, but then the removal order is $2.50. So Like you have to kind of balance that out. And then if you're like, hey, I'm smart, I'm not going to have them return the product to me. I'm going to have them dispose of it, and that way I won't have to pay as much. That's wrong. That's incorrect. It's actually, Brian can back me up on this. I believe the disposal fee and the removal fee is the same fee.
That is correct.
Wow. Oh, I didn't know that either. That's a new little fact for me today. Um, I that's crazy. I guess that makes sense. Like why even then worry about the shipping back when you could just say click dispose. So I guess that makes sense on Amazon side to be, to say that. But wow.